What is up, everybody? Beloved solstice. We are at summer solstice today on June 20th. We also are in a solar eclipse new moon in Cancer, and we are also in the beginnings of Mercury retrograde, which is just a whole beautiful salad of a lot of stuff. So if you're feeling your energy kind of all over the place, or just like feeling some interesting things that you don't usually feel, or just noticing that there's something different in the air, this may be a part of it. Now, I say this not because we give our power away to these happenings, but I think it's nice to look at with a witness view, an observer viewpoint, to what is going on overall, not just in the collective, but within the stars and different spaces, to just get a feel for what may be occurring and how that may support your inner guidance. But not giving our power away, just like tuning in and subscribing to whatever it is that you resonate with. And that could be one thing today, and then tomorrow you don't resonate with it. So I felt inspired today to make this recording and drop in on a stream because I've had an interesting day today. It's been kind of a wild ride, I'd say, but it's actually also been very matter of fact. And what I mean by that is I've been trying to leave the house since 2 p.m. It is currently 7:47 p.m. in New York City, and it's been just really fascinating. I was preparing to go, and then there was one thing that happened that I had to take care of. And then once that was complete, I was like, okay, ready to go. And then another thing happened, and you get the point. It was just one thing after the other when I was ready to go, ready to leave. One of these things that was, I was making tea for a gathering that I was heading to, and the glass just shattered as I poured the hot water. Now, I think I poured it in too quickly, which is why it happened. But again, everything is perfect and in divine timing. So I found myself feeling a little frustrated, but quickly coming to the space of like, okay, I'm listening. Clearly, if I'm not meant to be there yet, or not meant to be there, there is something that is literally the forces that be, right? My experience is showing me that that's that. So I took a few deep breaths and dropped into meditation and stillness, because that's been calling my body, my vessel for a long time, many years now. And I've gone through ebbs and flow of that, where there's more of that, there's less of that. But especially since the beginning of this year, before, everything unfolded with the current, pandemic and everything that's unfolding, and to be in this place of inwardness, in this place of stillness, and invite more of that to be present in my life, as far as just being in that space of witness, and really seeing it all without turning away from within myself, from within the collective, and just really witnessing it and observing it, and allowing that space of neutrality to then inform me what it is that I needed to do or look at, to transmute, transform, to witness, to be aware of, etc. So today, in this unfoldment of the events that were, let's say, assisting me in listening to something that was being to present itself, I pulled cards, oracle cards, from one of my favorite new decks that I just got. I absolutely love this deck. And again, I want to preface this with a space that these are tools, right? We don't give away, I say we as the collective, but again, take what resonates for you and leave the rest. I want to invite anyone who's listening to this and receives this stream, that whatever it is used as a tool. It's not something to give our power away. And this is something that I have found, and I have even done, years prior, where would give the power away to something where it's like, okay, I pulled this card, or I went to this psychic, or I saw this, so that means that. And so giving the power away, where it's like, oh, that's what must mean this, and really coming into that. I think this is the importance of the witness and the observer, where it's like, okay, here we are. I'm receiving this information. How does it land within my own inner truth, within my own inner knowing, in the awareness that I am present to in this moment? And what is it inviting me to be aware of in this moment, if anything at all, right? Or if it's even conscious, right? Because sometimes we receive these awarenesses and they land later on, right, along, say, the linear timeline of part of our experience, but we all know that it's quantum and now, so it's happening now. So that to say, I was tuning in and there was a lot of information that was coming in, and I knew what was there and I knew what the truth was, and I felt called to pull from this deck because this deck is a really beautiful reflector. And I really love it as a tool. And it just lives, it really lives and breathes so much beauty and purity. And just, it's very simple, the deck, in its delivery, but it's so potent and so profound. And it really, what I find with this deck is that it gives this space of like, you see the card that flies out of the deck or you choose, or however many cards, and you instantly receive what the message is for you specifically. So oftentimes with these cards, and I do this often with most of my cards now, but especially with this deck, and I'll tell you what it is in just a second. It is this where you receive the information that you need and what the interpretation is, right? What the reflection is of this card specifically for you. So I haven't even really been looking at the booklet, right, of what it unfolds there. And what will happen oftentimes for me with this deck is that I'll pull the card and I'll receive what is the message for me. I'll close my eyes or just tune in, like, what is this for me in this perfect moment, right? And then once I receive that, if I feel called, I will then open the booklet and see what it says. And sometimes it correlates in a really, really beautiful synchronistic way. And sometimes it adds to the information that I have because it's specific. So there is a beautiful interweaving of these. So the deck is called The Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvie. And the artwork is by Daniel B. Holman. The artwork itself lives, like, it literally breathes and lives and moves off of the card. It's really incredible. So if you're feeling pulled to this deck and you resonate with it, I highly recommend getting it. And this is not why I'm sharing this stream, but I guess this is what wanted to come through, right? We go with what's here. One of the cards that I pulled was alignment. And I received that, and it's this beautiful image. And I'm not going to share that with you because I just got the note not to, so you can receive it on yourself. But it was alignment, and I received that, and I was like, got it, great, got my message. And then I looked at the book, and it talked about the beauty of out of alignment. And that's what really wanted to drop in on today with out of alignment. And yeah, what's the perspective that's coming in on that in this moment? So I've heard this conversation of you're out of alignment, or this is out of alignment, very, very much so through many different circles and experiences, through different waves of communities. And I wanted to bring forward a new perspective that dropped in as I received my own interpretation and my own receiving of this, and maybe it'll help you in this moment. So truly, I really truly believe that we can never truly be out of alignment. What do I mean by that? We can choose things that feel out of alignment, that don't feel true to us, that don't feel like they are what feels harmonic or feels aligned, right? Take that as you will. That do not feel in sync with what we're here to do, to be, how we feel, the simplicity of joy, peace, those feelings of presence and just calmness, right? However, the beauty of choosing, and I'm putting my fingers in quotations right now, you can't see, but that's what I'm doing, choosing out of alignment-ness. The beauty of that is that creates a choice of being curious, right? I know with my own experience and observing and witnessing and speaking with the experience of others that there's a frustration that can come when we're out of alignment, especially if it's something that has unfolded for many weeks, months, years, where it's this continuous choice that feels out of alignment or something. And it's like, what's here? And it's that moment that either going for, oh gosh, like I'm frustrated, etc., and then flipping the script, so to speak, like honoring the frustration, right? Because that gives you information. And also being like, well, then why? Right? Why does this feel out of alignment? And it's the curiosity that comes in that I think creates that out of alignment is actually secretly a ingredient into fine-tuning what alignment means for you in that present now. And I also want to reflect that alignment is ever changing, right? There is a soul truth, there is a heart truth, there is something that is always present, right? And that is truth, and for you. And then there's also that in which that truth is expanding, right? That truth stays in the center and it's grounded. But as we are ever expanding in the space of this human experience, it continuously shifts and brings more information. So when we choose something that quote unquote is out of alignment, right? For whatever reason we make that choice, I really believe that we're making that choice in order to give us information as to why that doesn't feel harmonic, why that doesn't feel great, or why it feels almost good, but there's something that's not quite there. Because here's what it is, and my dear friend Adam Rowe said this a long time ago in a podcast I think that I was listening to of his, and I love this so much, where awareness gives us choice, and from that place we then get to choose, and it's this ever expanding container. So no matter what we choose, right, with the awareness and the experience that we have in that place, we then have more awareness, more consciousness of the situation, of the expression of whatever's here, be it through feelings, words, expressions, insights, or all of the above and more, to then choose differently, right? I can't tell you how many times I've chosen something where I realized later, like, oh man, okay, great, I definitely saw that the other choice was better, right? Or more, or what I wanted to do, or however, right? But I don't regret making that choice, especially reflecting on it now, because it's brought me to this place of right now. It's brought me to this place of here, and all of that which I have done and been and experienced up until this point has brought me here. So it really is all for us, right? When we talk about that, right? These can be such open and like non-depth phrases, but really the simplicity of it is the depth, where it is for you if you so choose to see that perspective in that way. And the curiosity of that is the key for that, I really truly believe. Because when we get curious about why things are the way they are, it not only reflects how our own contribution to that energetic is there, and it also is how the collective unfolds, and how we can now, within our own sovereign personal space and awareness and vessel of human, of body, of being, of experience, can now make a choice. So out of alignment-ness is a pathway to alignment if we so choose, and this is the beauty of choice. This is the beauty of what do you choose? And it can bring up a lot of our shit when we see that we're out of alignment, and then we want to choose something that feels joyful or feels like, oh, that feels really expansive, but it can be very scary when we are in the comfort of what we've known for a while. And that's the leap that people talk about. That's the trust, the faith that a lot of us hear about, talk about, feel, where it's like, this is different, but I have an inner knowing that this is truth for me and right now, even though that's not what's been the consistent presence, or conscious consistent presence, right? Because it's always there, even if we're not aware of it. And then taking the steps to choose that. And I really want to bring in and invite the space of compassion and the space of gentleness and taking your time, because This is something else that I've witnessed within the field of coaching, of healing, of session work, of workshops, of all of those things, including myself, where there is this like, change your life right now, boom, 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 big leaps, da da da. Yes. And it takes some steps, a lot of these choices. It doesn't happen overnight, right? The choice happens, but there is a process, right? Things can happen very quickly. And it's the permission that it can be a step-by-step process and you can take your time. The reason why I think that it speeds up and feels so fast at times is because when there's a consistency of saying yes to the truth of who you be, the truth of love, the truth of what's here right now, and what is supporting my growth and expansion into the beauty of love that you are, then it takes a dedication, it takes a devotion to do that every single day and every single moment. And let's be honest, we're not always going to be in alignment with that. But I also think that out of alignment-ness, right, is a way of alignment, because it gives us contrast. It gives us the experience to understand, okay, that put me here, like that put me on this side of the spectrum. Now I'm going to try this side of the spectrum. And then finding that harmony. Harmony. See, that's so interesting. Different alignment. Really what, at the end of the day, or at the end of the present now into the new now, cheesy, I know, is this invitation of perspective. That's really what I think a lot of this is just the experience is different perspectives. This is why when we have these moments where, we say we've cleared and transmuted a pattern in our lives, right? And then a year later, or 2 years later, or however much time later, or at another time, it comes up again. And, we hear like, oh, why is this coming up again? I cleared this already. Like, why am I feeling this way? Please remember, and I'm inviting you to this, so tune in if this resonates for you. Remember that it isn't that you did not clear and transmute it that time before. You absolutely for sure did, right? Because just by your awareness, it is so. And if it's coming up again, it's coming up because there's another anger. Oh my gosh. Anybody feeling anger? Because that just came through. Honor that. Let it out. Dance it out. Scream it out if you need to. Get into nature. Get underwater. That's a really great way to release some anger, is like letting the water receive it in the love of the womb. Anyway, whoever's feeling anger, I hear you. I love you. I honor you. It is so sacred. And under that anger is whatever needs to be released that you are protecting, that is so incredibly powerful to your passion, to your love, to your fuel, to the fire within you. So love you on that. Yes, so the angle, the perspective, if it's coming up again for whatever reason and it's something that you perceivably have cleared, you have, and now it's coming up from a different perspective. So what's the new thing that's being shown here? And oftentimes what I find with this experience, or I find with this like spiraling, like the spiral, like you were coming back to similar experiences but with new awareness and things come up, that it moves much quicker because we have a higher awareness. We have more space to just see it. And oftentimes you can, when you get to this space of like, you've been in the work for a while, you're really seeing yourself. And even when it gets really freaking hard, that it can actually, and I just burped, so we're transmuting, amazing. There is this quickness of transmutation where maybe something like that would have taken weeks or months to like really clear and process and move through, can now move through, as quick as a few days, as quick as an hour. I've had experiences where at the beginning of my journey, of my coming to awareness journey, this awareness space, things would take some things took years, some things took months, years, where before it was just like, okay, and then now there are certain things that like that could have taken, 2 years to transmute at the beginning. And now it really takes an hour, or it takes 2 days. That's not with everything. There are other things that, take more time, right? Everything is in its own perfect algorithm, so to speak. There's it's perfect alignment. So this is why I wanted to bring in the space of compassion and the space of gentleness. And there can be a fierce gentleness to it, right? Like this just direct focus, but this gentleness where it's like, it is happening in perfect time. You are an active participant in your life and in your awareness, and just trust that it's unfolding. And oftentimes we don't always get the answers that we think we want, or that we think are meant to happen, or they don't come in the way that they do, but they always come, even if we're not aware of it. And it can come at a later time. It can come, it can come in the way that it comes. And the beauty is that it's always right on time. It's always, right on time, because there will be something else. Like, for example, if you're looking for an answer now, right? And say it doesn't come, or you did the work and whatever happened, but you're not sure exactly what it is. And then 10 years down the line, you're having an experience with yourself, or with a partner, or in your business, or in life. And you see something, and all of a sudden that awareness, that download of the time 10 years ago comes in, and you realize something about that time, that answer. And it's because it correlates to whatever it is in your experience now. So it's like this full circle, this completion moment, this like full on integration. Hope that makes sense. So we can't really know, right? We have so much awareness. We have so much consciousness coming and rising on the planet right now. This consciousness, like awareness of self, the conscious of the consciousness, right? That's here, and it's so beautiful. That's why things are happening so very quickly. And for some, it may feel like it's happening slowly, but it is really happening so quickly. And as much as we can see and feel and have all our clairs, clairdalls, clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, clairsentience, and all the other things, right? The awareness, we still are seeing a, say, minimal viewpoint, right? In that infinitude of that viewpoint, because there's so many other things that are going on behind the scenes, or that are going on that really we don't have to worry about, that we don't have to have concern about, because it is not specific to our mission, or it's not specific to what we're bringing forward in the world as an interconnected space of play and creation, and the beauty of nature, and the beauty of this harmonic living universe, right? The harmonic universe. So, and that's great, because imagine if you knew everything that was going on. Like, I know I would be like way out of focus. I'd be like, what the fuck is even going on? Like, what is happening? What am I supposed to focus on? Right? So it's the beauty of the divine, the sacred intelligence that is in all things, that is present within all matter, right? Matter, everything matters in this space. Like, matter being this physical, matter is also mother, the womb, the space of, like, there's intelligence in all things, and can we receive the intelligence that is present within our experience, right? So we matter, because we are matter, which I love. I love that. And that's something that I've discussed with my dear sisters of that like this beautiful thing that came in a couple months ago. So yeah, so going back, or full circle, into this out of alignment thing, the question of what is out of alignment, and not only seeing like out of alignment as in, it's not connected, or it feels separate, or it feels like it's not in harmony, but also out of alignment, like what comes out of alignment, right? Like in being in alignment, right? And also like talking about words, right? I'm actually on my computer right now, so while I'm speaking to you all, I have really taken an interest in etymology, and I'm just going to quickly look into alignment. Like, what does the meaning align, like alignment mean? Where does it come from? So alignment, like say harmony, right? Something that feels like everything's connected, right? Like it's really like, oh yeah, okay, like all of it's just like this expansiveness, like it feels really good. So what comes out of that, right? Because the thing about like in the space of polarity, right? And polarity right now is coming into harmony in a way where we're finding the harmonic within that, which creates a third circle, right? We have the vesica Pisces that has the two intertwining circles. But when that beautiful harmony comes in with both of the polarities, it creates another container. It's like when you have the container of yourself and you have the container of your partner, and then you coming together with your partner creates another container. So there's three. You have three beautiful circles that are created. So it could be the two polarities, like for example, the feminine and the masculine, they come together and they create a union, which is source, right? Which is the infinite, the connection, the harmonization of all things, right? So drop into that. That's another conversation, which I may drop into at another time. So I love this. So I just looked up align, and literally it's to range in a line. So even with alignment, there is a spectrum. There is a range, right, of spaces. And I think if we if we break up the word, right, like everything is code. I really feel that everything is really code. If we look at the space of like what is being presented within the field of infinite possibility, right, there's also this space of like, what is alignment? Set, lay in line, stay in line. And I don't think that to be true within that of experience, because we are ever flowing, ever expanding, and that line is ever moving. So nothing ever actually stays within its place. It continuously moves, just like anything physical, right? We look at the computer, the table, the couch, the lamp, and it looks solid, right? We understand it as solid, as something that's not moving, right? But if you look at the microscopic particles of your microphone, or of like, I'm looking at my microphone, or you're looking at the trees or whatever, if you look at the microscopic particles that create it, they are moving. They are actually vibrating. They are actually a frequency. So it is moving. Energy is moving at all times. So nothing is actually stable, right? Nothing is actually still. But within that, there's a stillness within that, right? Another topic also for another time. But I want to just bring this in, and then I'll begin to close the space. So thanks for being with me here until, I don't know what minute we're at, but here we are. So alignment, right? Alignment, right? So one, singular, present, source, a line, right? Line, sentence, phrase, straight, line, and then meant. What is meant? Meant is also mended, right? Alignment. So what is meant by the internal source that you are to put in your line, to put in your line of experience, right? And I really think a line, we understand line is straight, but line can really move and morph. And line can also be within structure. Like line can be the structure that holds the infinite possibility of what you are. And this is the beauty of the Mandelbrot set that I really, really love. If you're not familiar with the Mandelbrot set, definitely hop on YouTube and just, type in what is the Mandelbrot set. There is a woman that I'm forgetting the name of now, and I'll put her name once I find it in the description below, that explains the Mandelbrot set really, really well. But I bring that up because it was brought into my awareness by my dear friend Karen a week or two ago, and I was looking at it, and there was a lot of stuff that I didn't quite gather, because there's a lot of information, mathematics and everything that I need to do more research on and really take my time with receiving that. But I was asking, I was like, why is this being brought to my attention, right? What is being brought there? There's also something called Julia sets in there, which that's a whole other topic, but that was also one part of why I was doing it. I was like, what? Julia sets, what's up? Anyway, the Mandelbrot set is this container, right? This part of a graph that is defined, that is contained in a way. However, within the container of the Mandelbrot set, there is literally an infinite possibility mode within that. So you look at the Mandelbrot set, and then you zoom in to one part of it, and then you see another Mandelbrot set and other extensions of that, and it's it keeps on going. It's this infinite infinite dimensions within this contained space. So this is something that came to me, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, while I was sitting in the park on the phone, and I was talking to a friend of mine, my dear soul sister Sana, and we were talking about finances and just like unfolding some things that were going on with finances for us. And something that came in that I was just like, oh my goodness gracious, I love that. And it stayed with me ever since, and it's molded and expanded, but like the simplicity of the core of the message was really there, where in order for infinite flow to be where it is and to be created and molded into shapes and sizes and possibilities, there needs to be a container for that. So really, structure is such a gift, because within, and speaking on, say, the principles of feminine and masculine, right? If we see the masculine as the container, masculine as the structure, and we see the feminine as the flow, the infinite possibility, the creativeness, right? The masculine, the structure, right? However big, small, whatever capacity the structure is in that moment, right? Like our bodies are a structure. Within that structure, the receptivity, the feminine, the flow, the creativity, the infinitude, the infinite possibility has somewhere to land, has somewhere to be. And it literally can expand infinitely within the structure because it has the space. There's something about if there's structure that's missing, and there's value to this as well. However, if the structure is missing, right? If it's just flow, then it is chaos. It's like, where am I? What's going on? Like, where does it land? Where am I planting? Oh my goodness, I have no idea where to go. Da, 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 da. But if there is a structure, right? And the permission within the structure to then infinitely flow, to then infinitely be in the possibility of what's possible in this moment, in this now. How am I available to this moment in this now? And what can I bring here? And bring here can mean a lot of different things, right? Bring here can be, I'm going inward, I'm going into stillness. Or bring here can be, I'm going to like launch a nonprofit or whatever, right? It can be a realm of things, but it is this beautiful structure of infinitude, right? The holding of the infinitude, right? And allowing that structure to then, if it needs to change or if it needs to be malleable, that it changes into a different shape or a different, the word that's coming through is value, right? I'm not sure why it's coming in as value, but this really just this like the valuableness of the structures that the infinite possibility can realm and dance and play within it. So that's really great. I love that. So coming into the space of like, you're always in this space of harmony, and the beauty of experience, and in experience receiving more awareness, is fine-tuning the harmonics that are within your symphony, the harmonics that are within your song, and noticing, oh, now that I have this awareness, like think about this way. This is the analogy, the sort of metaphor that's coming in. Say you wrote a song when you were young, and it had, one melodic line, right? No chords, nothing, just one melodic line, right? And say you only had some of the song, right? Part of the song. As you've gotten older and as you've grown, not just in your physical linear sense of the space where you're, 25 years old, 50 years old, but also within the quantum, you've grown. So that song, you've maybe added, this part of the song has this beautiful chord progression. Maybe you add some harmony, maybe you add some lyrics, but then you start, like, things are shifting, more awareness comes in, and actually, okay, let me actually change the lyrics because these are what resonate now. Oh, and then because that word is on that chord, and that chord doesn't actually sound like what I feel with this word, so let me change the chord. Oh, okay, I changed the chord, and now it doesn't really flow with this part of the melodic line. Let me see if I can shift the melodic line. And all of a sudden, as you're growing and expanding into your experience of life, the song is completely changing. The song maybe has the roots of the original, right? But it's changing, it's morphing, it's becoming more, the word that's coming in is virtuosic. It's becoming bigger, it's becoming more complex, yet holds the simplicity of the original. So that's what happens, right? We're continuously coming into this space of like, What are the sounds? What's here? What's in my perception? What am I available for? And out of alignment can simply mean that this was at some point in alignment and now it isn't because of the other things that I'm aware of now as I'm moving into my more expanded and open space of love, right? And that in this moment, whatever is here right now is perfect. And it really is, even if it doesn't feel like that. And I say perfect in the sense, not just like this, like willy-nilly, like butterflies and rainbows, perfect in the sense of trusting that what is here right now is the perfect things that are for the highest expansion, for the good of all. And with every single soul blueprint signature that we carry, that each one of us has something to offer in order to harmonize the collective whole symphony that we create with each of our individual symphonies, within our keys, within our progressions, within our processes, and within our arrangements, right? So you're right where you need to be. If you are out of alignment, know that you are in alignment as well at the same time. And if you're really feeling like, what is my life giving me right now? Like, what is really here? Like, why am I so confused or frustrated or whatever? Get curious, like shift the perspective with one thing, instead of being like, oh, I'm feeling this way. Like, oh, it's like, why? Why am I feeling this way? Where is it in my body? Where have I felt this before? If I have, or in a similar way, where have I witnessed this kind of feeling before? What does this remind me of? Like asking simple questions like that, and doing, I think, a lot of beautiful ways of letting it flow through you as well, is doing something creative, something that doesn't take a lot of thought, right? Doesn't take a lot of brain power, and just lets you kind of sit in the present moment of stillness in the movement of doing what it is. Painting is really great because of the brush strokes and the fluidity of that. Writing can be really good if it's like automatic writing, or just like writing down the thoughts in your head, where it's like you're not thinking about it, you're just writing the stuff down. It can be, for some people, it can be watching a movie. For some, it can be, spitting poetry. But something creative or something simple that doesn't take a lot of brain power and just like allows you to be with it is really, really helpful, I have found. And I've done this in a way where I will take a deep breath or a few deep breaths, and I will ask my question, right? I will ask my curiosity, where it's just like, why am I feeling this anger? Or why am I feeling like I don't know what the truth is here? Or whatever the question is, I'll ask the question and I'll breathe in a couple times again. And then I will start whatever it is that I'm bringing to the table with that doesn't require a lot of brain power, that doesn't require a lot of mental, and kind of lets the energy just move. Weaving for me has been really powerful in that. And yeah, so what comes out of alignment, right? The emphasis on out of the beauty of alignment. And what does that mean for you, right? And, substitute whatever word, if you don't like alignment, whatever word works for you. But I like harmony a lot, because harmony is continuously changing, and harmony sounds different for a lot of people. So, but what is harmonic? What is it that is a resonance, that feels, that amplifies and supports your highest growth and your love that you are, and the kindness that you are, and the sharing and the connection? That is the greatest piece, and that's coming in. I'm going to leave you with this. What is it that supports loving connection for me in this moment? It's a really great question to ask. Like, what is it that allows connection, allows witnessing, allows whatever illusion of separateness, right? Separation, any illusion of that, and in what ways, if the separateness is there, has it been true? And can I bring connection? What supports authentic, loving, present, and supportive connection for the highest good of all that is? I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. This is a bit of a long one, but this is what I wanted to stream through. And, we're on universe time. So thanks for listening. If you enjoy listening to these transmissions and these streams of concepts or words that come through, I don't know how many I will be doing, and it kind of comes in and comes out when it comes in. So subscribe to keep in touch and keep in the awareness of when I post about these things. And if you want to get notified, you can click the notification button. And yeah, let me know how this supports you, if it does, and in other ways that your ideas of feeling supported at this time, and always. And I love you. Thank you for being the kindness that you are, and continue to share that with the world. And I will see you next time. Love you. Happy solstice.